without you. Feels rude somehow.
Bukra?
That's right.
May I? Should we have a look? Bloody hell.
Vincent's not much for understatement. What you did back at the temple, what was that?
It's difficult to describe. It's like seeing events before they actually happen, and then making them real.
I've never seen anything like it. You have unique Umbric abilities. A real quester.
You're a quester.
I'm a student of secrets, but I will never see the fold. It's a limitation. You touch the fold. Feel it. My mother would call you Nganga. The healer who communes with the other world. Like magic, I suppose.
I don't feel very magical.
Precisely. It's natural to you. Cogs and sprockets, books and diagrams. That is where I live. Ah, here we are. Speaking of, I have some reading to do.
Might prove useful.
Aruna, we're coming up on Sintra. Meet me in the bridge.
Not sure why you'd want to include me in searching Vincent's office when you barely know me. It's kind of you.
Now I have a ledger and the cargo manifest because of your persuasive kicking foot. Research goes better with two.
Research? That's a funny word for snooping.
Academics have a lot of funny terms for questionable acts, I found. One of my favorites is, examination further would be captious beyond the scope of our research.
What does it mean?
Ooh, yikes. My education is part of who I am. I wouldn't trade it for anything, but I'm not in academia for a reason. It's tiring, talking to men who are determined to use 10 syllables when 3 will do. It's that impenetrable academic vernacular that creates a barrier to knowledge, instead of disseminating it.
Instead of, what?
Oh, I'm sorry, it means...
I know what it means, don't worry. Can't believe I got you.
Aruna, what's the holdup? You're needed in the bridge.
Aruna, wondered when you stopped by. You look like a woman with questions. And you're in luck, kiddo. I might just have some answers.
Thank you, George. I gather you and Luther are old friends.
Partners in crime for longer than I care to remember. Opposite sides of the same old coin.
Funny, you strike me like you don't have a care in the world. As for Luther, I know he puts on an air of levity, but There's a deep sadness to him, like lingering smoke.
Now hold up there. I'm not in the habit of spilling another man's beans, and definitely not based on you sensing smoke, no matter how much I want to help you. Maybe there's another reason for what you're sensing.
Well, I don't know when he last washed that coat, but
I don't either, but here's hoping he's caught in the rain sometime soon, eh? Luther. If not for that man, I'd be dead a dozen times over. That darkness. It might be the only way he keeps the pain in check. Pain like Luther's got. It'll never go away. So he uses it. It's what drives him to help people when he can, and fight those who'd unleash suffering on the world.
Haruna to the
That's
bridge.
why he'll never have a
Repeat.
more loyal
Haruna
friend.
to the bridge.
Or
You're
determined
holding up
enemy.
the whole operation.
Or sometimes, both at once. Remind me to tell you the story of how he and I met sometime.
let's have that story then.
Sure. How's that one go again? Right. This was back in 73? No, 74. Eventually, they called that particular bloodbath the Red River War. At the time, we just called it hell. I was on the Union side. The Indians, well, they had Luther.
Indian? I thought this was... right. You're saying Luther fought American soldiers.
It was a different army, and he was different then too. The people that raised him were fighting to their last stand against enemies who would never stop coming, it turned out. I was part of the 9th Cavalry. We'd taken losses, they'd taken losses, the whole thing turned into chaos. Leastways, it sure seemed that way. Especially when I got separated from my regiment. I'd only just realized I was cut off when a stray shot, whose I couldn't say, they had long rifles themselves, went straight through my horse's neck. Next thing I know, I'm waking up next to a dead horse and a bloody tree stump with a bloody knot on my forehead. Don't know how long I was out, but the battle had moved on. I'd just gotten to my feet, had to make sure I could, when Luther found me. He'd been scouting our flank and his own horse threw him when a cannon spooked her. My rifle was under a ton of dead horse, but I managed to draw down on him just as his pistol cleared the holster. So we stood there, two bloody, muddy fools on a cold battlefield, moments away from ending each other's stories for good. Don't worry, a bunny rabbit stopped us, but that's a longer story. I gotta tell you, that Vincent sure knows how to stock a bar. You seen Luther around?
What do you want out of all this, Haruna?
You want my biography? Why do you care?
Not a good start.
Fine. My name is Haruna, and I'm here to find my mentor.
Simple, but not untrue. What is the Fold?
You think I don't know what the Fold is? Okay, it's the hidden world, also a crucible. To temper the soul. Path that leads to even deeper mysteries. It's a place I've only skimmed the surface of. You want me to define a Fold with words? I might as well try and sell you.
If we come in low, along this line, the ridge should hide our approach.
That's a good hike from the Quinta.
Any closer and we risk detection.
I wouldn't recommend it.
Ah, Haruna. I'd like to introduce you to Fortunato, mapmaker extraordinaire and our designated navigator. That tall order over there is our pilot, Astrid. You can thank her for losing our Ascendant friends.
Pleased to meet you.
Piacere.
Good to meet you, Haruna.
We're coming in on Sintra. I'll be heading down to the landing platform in a few.
There you are. Everyone on a ship can have an effect on her course, and the smallest shift in weight can require a course correction. A navigator must know of everyone on board, the way the conductor of an orchestra must be aware of every instrument, and when they are to play.
All right. And?
So, I wanted to get a look at you. I'm not judging your fashion sense. I just wanted to eyeball your weight. Out of context, I can hear how that sounded awkward.
Hello, Fortunato.
Welcome aboard the Morning Star, Haruna. You'll soon find the crew is the orchestra, and our quest is a symphony. It will be intriguing to see how the notes you bring will add to our harmony.
I'll do my best to stay in tune, Maestro.
So, tell me, Haruna, how are you adapting to your new surroundings?
Well, the Morning Star is certainly impressive. I've never been aboard anything like it.
Her. Anything like her. Our sea may be the sky, but the Morning Star's still a ship, and every inch a lady. Now listen, please. I want to go over some basic rules for passengers on my ship. And make no mistake, you may be a quester, and you may be helping out, but you are not truly part of this crew. Not until I say you are. Understand? Nothing I am about to say is to be taken personally. It is not your fault that when it comes to airships, you are almost certainly inept at best, dangerous at worst.
Why would I take that personally?
First, you never ever touch these controls. You are not qualified. You are not rated. You are not welcome to twist a single knob or even flip one switch unless I tell you to. Second, Mara, my daughter, is old enough to make her own friends. But if I ever learn Mara has forsaken her future to follow you or anyone else around the globe on some ground-pounding wild moose chase, I will stop you.
Trust me, Captain. Asking anyone else to take on this life? I would never. I don't regret my choices, but they were my own. And Captain, you do know it's goose, yes? A wild goose chase?
Not where I come from. The Morning Star is quite special, you know. Most airships all look the same and fly like slugs.
Why is it... she different?
It's not just her looks. It's her guts, her keel, her ribs. The overpowered engines, the lightweight frame made of alloys the rest of the world won't know about for decades. And she can really move. We exceeded 110 miles per hour during our escape, and sustained it for several minutes before the engines threatened to overheat. That's very fast. Faster than the British Warzeps we flew over China during that Boxer business.
Sorry, British Warzeps?
Zeppelins. Rigid airships, but primitive compared to the Star. Made for war by the British. If not for them, I'd never have met 40. Fortunato. The Royal Sky Navy was in its infancy, and only running secret missions under cover of night. Even the most rigid airship isn't bulletproof. Norway wasn't about to field such a force. So I went where the action was, flying for the Brits alongside an international rogues gallery of pilots from all over Europe. Though I was the only Norwegian, to my knowledge. Fortunato was flying with a reckless Spaniard who got himself killed. Almost took 40 with him. I saw their Zepp go down, and coordinated a rescue in the middle of a dogfight. But we got him out. You're not exactly what I expected, Haruna. And that's good, because frankly, I didn't expect much. But if you'll excuse me, this ship won't make port by herself.
All right, let's get to it. All right, Bukra. We're near the manor. You be ready. We may need a quick ticket out of here.
I should have no trouble tracking you, so long as you have your radios. According to the manifest, Reika was held in the mansion. Security will be tight. I suggest avoiding the front door.
You figure? I spent more than a few years studying here. I reckon I know just about every last servant's entrance this manor's got. Just follow me. I'll get us... Hey! Hey! There's no way I'm squeezing through there.
No?
This is gonna be a regular thing with you, isn't it?
Haruna, did you walk out on Luther?
I can cover more ground this way.
Are you crazy? He knows the grounds.
Look, believe it or not, I've done this kind of thing before. I fare much better on my own. Haruna out.
Just get Matos's journal. He knows what Vincent's up to and where Reika could be. This could be over quietly.
Haruna out. Can't risk them giving away my position. I feel a strong convergence in the patterns around this object. Blue, perhaps. Might prove useful.
Are you certain your machines can contain her? Matos?
Apologies, Vincent. I haven't been quite myself of late.
You've been spending too much time in that capsule. It's taking its toll on your mind.
Have we had this conversation before? Or perhaps we will have it when... Is this... now?
What is that sound?
We have just received word that transports have started rolling in.
Good. Pack all essentials and make sure the doors and windows are all secure. Doesn't look like we'll be back here for a good while.
On the top floor?
Same goes for our former guests' accommodations. And do be extra careful with the instruments up there.
Former guest. Reka. Looks like I'm headed for the dolphin.
Best for him to come out.
Murder. What?
Any sign of them?
I'll end this no matter what. Calm composure will win the day.
What's out there anyway?
What was that, anyways? It was so strange.
What can we do against this witchcraft?
Bukra, I'm heading for the second floor. I believe it's where they're holding Rekka.
Good thinking. It's a good place to look. And keep your radio on this time, hmm?
Will do. Haruna out. What if we hear?